Welcome to Sports Guy Talking. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the Celtics upsetting the Golden State Warriors in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics outscored the Warriors 40-16 in the fourth quarter as they ended up shocking most of the NBA world. The Celtics role players stepped up and looked poised in Game 1, which was somewhat surprising to see. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with the topic question. So, here it is. What is your reaction to the Celtics stealing Game 1 of the NBA Finals? Alright, so I was watching this game, all of it yesterday. I was getting pretty pumped up. If you guys know me long enough, I've been a Warriors guy since I started watching basketball. And to see the Golden State Warriors struggle the way they did in that fourth quarter, that was stunning to see because Golden State, they're usually a team that finishes strong in the second half. They go ahead, close out, win their games. That's exactly what they do. It's not often they go ahead and lose Game 1 or something like that, especially because they blow a lead in the second half and they don't close well. I saw the statistic yesterday that the Golden State Warriors had the worst fourth quarter point margin ever in the Steve Kerr era. That includes the 2 years they didn't make the playoffs. The Golden State Warriors got outscored 40-16 in the fourth quarter. Man, to see that happen, I was stunned. I was truly in disbelief. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought when the Golden State Warriors was up at the end of the third quarter, I was like, you know what? Yeah, Golden State, they're going to win this series. Not necessarily win the series, but win Game 1. I like their chances. They're going to close the deal. Before the game, I was thinking Warriors were going to win by 7. Warriors were up double digits by the end of the third quarter. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be over. We got this in the bag for Game 1. And then the fourth quarter happens because Al Horford has turned the clock back. Let me talk about Al Horford as a matter of fact. If the NBA had an award called Comeback Player of the Year, Al Horford 1,000% deserves it because Al Horford has been incredible throughout these NBA playoffs. And in Game 4, not in Game 4, in Game 1, he was very impressive because Al Horford, he showed up on offense in the fourth quarter. Al Horford made 9 out of 12 shots. That's very good for Al Horford. He made 6 out of 8 threes. Very impressive for him. Al Horford, man, with this three-point shooting, if he continues shooting like this, he won't continue, by the way. At least I don't think he will. Although the way he has played in these NBA playoffs, you just don't know. But if he continues shooting the way that he has, say if he shoots like 4 of 8 from the three-point line, the Boston Celtics, guys, we may have all just underestimated the Boston Celtics. Now look, I'm not going to pick against the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, I'm a Warriors guy. I cannot pick against my own team in the finals. But if the Warriors were not my own team, I would have picked the Boston Celtics to win this series. And from what I saw in Game 1, it's looking like it's going to be heading that direction. Now, do I think this series is going to be over? No, of course not. It's just Game 1. Yes, I know the Celtics just stole Game 1 in Golden State, but we still got a long ways to go. It's not like the Celtics are some super team out there that can just dominate whenever they feel like it. This series is far from over. Okay, I'm not Stephen A. Smith who's going to declare the series to be over and saying I'm nervous after one game. I'm not going to overreact because the Golden State Warriors, they did have the lead after 3 quarters, and the Boston Celtics, they did get some insane outliers in the fourth quarter. And throughout Game 1 as well, I mean, Derek White, he plays 32 minutes. He's a point guard off the bench for the Celtics. I know he's been very good for them throughout the playoffs. But he had a plus-minus rating of plus 25. I don't think that's going to happen again. And Peyton Pritchard, he had a plus-minus rating of plus 14. Again, I doubt that would happen again. Although, with the way these NBA players are happening, who even knows? Who even knows? And Derek White knocking down 5 threes? 5 threes? I mean, who could have expected that? And for him to score 21 points off the bench, that is huge for the Boston Celtics. If Derek White scored 21 points off the bench, if Al Horford is knocking down 6 threes, this Boston Celtics team is going to be difficult to beat. It's really quite that simple. I don't really know any other way how to put it. And Jason Tatum, I want to talk about him. Jason Tatum, he's supposed to be the leader of this Boston Celtics team. He did not play well in Game 1. Yes, he got a double-double, but he shot 3 of 17 from the field, 1 of 5 from the three-point line. He missed 2 free throws. He only scored 12 points, although he did get 13 assists. But clearly, Jason Tatum was not playing his A game. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I'm not necessarily in alarm mode, but I would be a little bit concerned because they were able to hold Jason Tatum to 12 points, and they lost by 12 points. So if Jason Tatum's only scoring 12 points and the Celtics are winning by double digits and they can go deep into their bench with a minute left to go, that's kind of rather alarming. But I'll just say that the Boston Celtics role players, they really stepped it up. Got to give them massive props Game 1 because they played like stars. And for For the people that are just casual viewers out here, the Boston Celtics have never made the NBA Finals before with this squad. There were no players on this roster that had ever played in the NBA Finals before. But if you saw that game yesterday, you couldn't tell because the Boston Celtics, they look poised, they look prepared, and honestly, they look like the team that had a ton of experience in the finals. I'm going to talk about the Warriors right now. From what I saw with the Golden State Warriors last night, Steph Curry, he was amazing. 21 points in the first quarter, 6 of 8 from the three-point line, 7 of 9 from the field. Ends up making 12 of 25 shots, makes 7 of 14 shots from the three-point line. He scores 34 points. You know what? He played a tremendous game. He did what he was supposed to do in 38 minutes of action. I'm going to address that a little bit later. But the other players for the Golden State Warriors have got to show up. Look, there's a reason why there's something called the front court. The Golden State Warriors have got to get more production out of the front court. Draymond Green, 2 of 12 from the field, 0 of 4 from the three-point line, 0 of 3 from the free throw line. That's not going to cut it. Him scoring 4 points, he's been in the finals multiple times. He's been there for all these runs for the Golden State Warriors. He's got to score more than 4 points. I know his role is not to score the ball on offense, but he's got to make more than 2 shots. He's a star player for this Golden State Warriors team. He's got to make more impact. He's also got to get a block in there too because he didn't block any shots yesterday. And Kevon Looney, he played 25 minutes. He played a lot of minutes, as a matter of fact. He did a good job grabbing boards. I'll give him credit for that, but he only scored 4 points. Look, Kevon Looney's got to do more than that. I know he's a role player, but he's got to do more than that. And then Klay Thompson. I want to talk about this guy. Klay Thompson, he's a former star player for the Golden State Warriors. He's made the All-Star multiple times. I know that he's coming off of multiple injuries. I know that he hasn't played basketball in like 2 years prior to this year. But Klay Thompson has got to play better the way he has. 15 points on the final stage. Come on, Klay. We all know that you're capable of playing better than that. That was a flop by Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, he did not play good in Game 1. That, you cannot objectively argue that. He led the Warriors in minutes, but he was nowhere near the best player on the floor for the Golden State Warriors or the best player on either side. And look, I know Klay Thompson, he's supposed to be robbing the Steph's Batman, but I mean, come on, he's got to produce more than 15 points. I mean, Andrew Wiggins stepped up. He went 8 of 15 from the field, scored 20 points. Andrew Wiggins played a good game. He did his assignment on defense, locked out Tatum, and he made his shots. If Andrew Wiggins is scoring 20 points, Klay Thompson has got to step it up. He's got to score 20 or 25 points. Now I want to talk about the bench for the Golden State Warriors. Jordan Poole, he's been pretty good for the Warriors. He's been one of the best bench players, and when he started and plays a step, he's been playing really well. He should have won the Most Improved Player of the Year award. He should have been a candidate. But Jordan Poole, he scored 9 points in 25 minutes of action. 1 of 5 from the three-point line. You have got to do better than that if you're Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, he's a good scorer. He's a good shooter. But for him to score 9 points in the finals, come on, man. I know that he hasn't played in the finals in terms of major minutes. He hasn't played at all. But come on, he needs to play better than that. He just simply needs to do that. Golden State, they need to have their star players step up because if they don't have their star players step up, I'm not going to say the series is going to be over, but it's going to be hard for them to win the series because the Boston Celtics, they can switch everything on defense. They can guard wherever they need to do. The perimeter defense is elite. The rim protection is elite as well. Al Horford, Robert Williams, those guys can protect the paint really well. The Golden State Warriors, their paint defense is good, but they're not Boston Celtics kind of good. And if Otto Porter is scoring 12 points off the bench, credit to him, by the way, then the Golden State Warriors have got to win that game because it's not going to be every game where Otto Porter is going to step up and make 4 threes for you. That's just not realistic to expect that from him. And look, the Golden State Warriors, they made 19 three-pointers. They shot 42.2% from the three-point line. That's excellent. But the Boston Celtics, oh my goodness, they were shooting at a historic rate. 21 of 41 threes. That's a 51.2% shooting percentage from the three-point line as a team. That's incredible to see for the Boston Celtics. Look, the Boston Celtics, they've already achieved what they needed to do. If they wanted to win this series, they needed to split at Golden State. Now they already got the split, worst case scenario. And the Boston Celtics, they're playing with house money in Game 2. And if the Boston Celtics go up 2-0, heading back into the Garden at Boston, this series, I'm going to pull a Stephen A. Smith move and say that the series is going to be over if it's 2-0 heading back into Boston. I can't see the Golden State Warriors winning 2 road games there. And if they go down 3-1, the Boston Celtics are going to win the series. Let's just be 1,000% objective about that. But I think the Golden State Warriors, they're going to step up. They're going to win Game 2 because they need to win Game 2, and they're a good basketball team. But they need to make some adjustments. Here's adjustment number 1. Play Steph more. All right, Steph Curry cannot sit out for 5 minutes in the second quarter of an NBA Finals. Look, this is the NBA Finals. You need to give your star players as many minutes as possible because what are you saving your energy for? This is the big stage. Steph Curry cannot be sitting out that much time again. So they need to do that. Here's adjustment number 2. They need to get Klay more involved in the offense. They need to let Klay get in some catch and shoot situations. Look, I know the Boston Celtics got elite length with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but they have got to get Klay Thompson more involved in the offense. Klay Thompson cannot only score 15 points. That is unacceptable for a player of Klay Thompson's caliber. They need to make sure they do that. And adjustment number 3, they just need to guard the three-point line better. Look, I know the Celtics, they were hitting everything, but they have got to defend the three-point line better. If the Warriors do those 3 adjustments correctly, they can get the series back on track. But let's make this very clear. The Golden State Warriors are not going to dominate the series. Look, that was what I was trying to tell you guys before the series started. And from what I saw in Game 1, they're not going to dominate the series. It's quite that simple. I'm not going to overreact and say the series is over for the Golden State Warriors, but they're in for a dogfight. It's as simple as that. Credit to the Boston Celtics for winning Game 1. Credit to them for stealing Game 1. As well as for the Golden State Warriors, they played a good game except for the fourth quarter. They need to be able to knock down their shots in the fourth quarter and defend better than what they did. It's unacceptable for the Warriors to defend at the level that they did in the fourth quarter of the NBA Finals. Look, I know the Celtics were red hot and everything, but they have got to defend better. As long as the Warriors, they take care of business, they do what they're supposed to, they're going to win Game 2, and let's see what's going to happen in these NBA Finals, because this series is going to go 7 games. This is going to be far from being over. So that's how I'm seeing it. So that is why the Celtics winning Game 1 was impressive, despite the fact that this series is far from being over. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in a future video. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Dustin Tran and at Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter at Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.